up life too quick. Ride around my new shit. Lemonade my cognac. Hitters in my contact. Live it up life too quick. Ride around my new shit. Lemonade my cognac. Hitters in my contact. Live it up life too quick. Ride around my new shit. Lemonade my cognac. Hitters in my contact. Live it up life too quick. Ride around my new shit. Lemonade my cognac. Hitters in my contact. Back up, hold up, bitch, just slow up. I don't know you. Hey, I got my door up. I can't slow up. Thought I told you. Hey, back up, hold up, bitch, just slow up. I don't know you. Hey, I got my door up. I can't slow up. Thought I told you. Hey, leave a hater in anguish. Test drive your main bitch. Better watch your language. You team switch, I lane switch. Energy on fuego. Hennessy, my fago. Wonder where my day go. Sleep while my pay grow. Wrapping up my game leaf. Wrapping up this convo. Finish up my EP. It's cracking at my condo. Tell the plug, bring more now. I'ma need that refill. Hit her with that comeback. Now shorty feel like Z-Quill. Zipping up my Y3. Zipping up my OG. Niggas won't stand by me. Then act like they know me. Money in my missed calls. Niggas got me crisscross. Look at him, he pissed off. My balls covered in lip gloss. I'm smarter than she thinking, way cooler than your last man. Came to leave some blunt guts and rubbers in your trash can. I've been through since yesterday. A clock, little bitch, I'm on one. Stacking paper like I'm trying to take it on the long run. Think I'm on the road like butter, baby, land a lake. I'm like motherfucker, government, a hater and a Jake. I've been off the antidote, I got no time to annotate. Got a feeling choosy, I think I'm the greatest candidate. Live it up life too quick. Ride around my new shit. Lemonade my cognac. Hitters in my contact. Live it up life too quick. Ride around my new shit. Lemonade my cognac. Hitters in my contact. Live it up life too quick. Ride around my new shit. Lemonade my cognac. Hitters in my contact. Live it up life.
Get ready for the most glamorous event of the year, the U2B Streets Awards 2025, February 9, 2025 at Laven Midtown, located at 641 West 42nd Street, New York City. Join us at 12 p.m. for the pre-show red carpet extravaganza and a chance to win $500 in our fashion contest. From 2 p.m. to 4 p.m., enjoy the gold tier experience with speakeasy confessionals, press interviews, and premium cocktails. At 4 p.m., the platinum tier includes performances, a comedic host, an award ceremony, dinner, and gift bags. From 8 p.m., the diamond tier features a VIP after party with a DJ, aerial dance, fire performances, and gift bags. 24 U2 categories and many nominees. Can't attend in person? Stream the entire event live on Hush and Move Media via Uscreen for just $9.99. Get your early bird tickets before September 15, 2024. Visit now. Be a sponsor. Be extraordinary. Be there. Be great.
All right, let's get into it. We had to come to the meaning of the minds, people. Meaning of the minds, meaning you, me, and who else is on this live stream. What we put when it comes to content, we try to put out the best content that we can ever come up with. Sometimes we fetch off other people just to get the best content that there is and try to make it better. Over the past, I would say, couple of months, it has been a crapshoot. When, men obviously confessing. I mean, it's two type of different things going on, and it's all horizontal issues. All of it is issues. The first issue is men aren't good enough for the women. Obviously, it's a complaint. The women aren't good enough for the men. Now it's black, the black community isn't good enough, or the black community will not change, hasn't changed in almost 500 years, which is a bunch of BS, because if it hasn't changed within it hasn't changed at all, we would be in the same conditions as our ancestors once were, as my grandmother once was. We'd be just picking cotton, wouldn't we? Never mind having a job, never mind, never mind none of those things. Never mind getting a job, never mind in the car, having a house. Now I know we're still under the system of white supremacy, but hey, you had to make a name up for yourself somehow, some way. It's getting quite messy. And as I told you a long time ago, and people still refuse to read the Willie Lynch letter, for the simple fact that Negroes don't know how to fucking read. It's quite interesting. Or Negroes don't want to read. And one of the reasons why our libraries are pretty much close to closing, or pretty much that we don't want to attend school, or the teachers don't care, or whatever the case may be. I don't know. All I know is it's time to look out for number one, me. It's time to look out for number one. Since these people, and I'm going to pull it up in a minute, since these people believe that the black community is no longer, meaning it's not going to thrive into something greater, then my suggestion is get the fuck up out there. Pack your shit and go on to Marion Wonderland. Because I'm sick and tired of you young motherfuckers always complaining about some bullshit that you don't even contribute to. You're expecting something to happen, and you get to watch this for free? Oh no, you got to put in some work, youngin. Just like my ancestors had to put in some work. My great-great-grandfather who served in the U.S. military, my great-grandfather who served in the U.S. military, my uncle that served in the U.S. military. You got to put in some work, bruh. I don't care if it's 2024. You got to put in some major work. You're sitting here and waiting for things to happen. Now, I don't mind teaching you, but here's the other part. We got young lions trying to nibble off old lions' plates. I heard earlier today that Izzy Bands had a couple of heads, right? Well, we're all old heads. He's in 40, I'm just going to guess 48, 46. Angry Man is about the same age, is a little bit about the same age as me. I'm 44, just turned 44. So we're all a bunch of, according to Sway, this old 25, this knucklehead, I can't stand that nigga. So he's on there, right? And Bolo basically says something profound, and he said it with such greatness. I ain't forgot what he said. I'm just gonna paraphrase it. He basically is saying that the young generation is not ready and will not be ready until they are ready to listen to the older generation and stop assuming everything. The information that you are getting is being fed to you at a dramatic rate. It's being fed to you. It's not organic. Nothing is organic. It's all being fed to you. It's just like when you go to the grocery store and you're buying all this processed food, nothing is organic. Even your vegetables. I told you, and other people that I listened to has told you, if you want organic, you got to grow it yourself. You have to grow it yourself. Otherwise, you're gonna get the same. You're gonna get the same old, and the meat that they have in these grocery stores is getting worse and worse and worse. How it is processed. I don't even think I want to eat meat anymore. I don't even think I want to eat meat. The turkey burgers are good in the mud. No. So they're there, and he is basically saying that the elderly or the young people are being fed processed lingo. And in order for you to get anything organically, you're going to have to listen to those who came before you. And I do agree with him on that. It's the only problem is certain ones, and I'm not going to mention but one particular name. Sway has an issue with old heads. And I tend to just say, well, if you have a problem with what people are saying and you just want to rebut every time somebody has a problem with a young buck, then what is the point of having a conversation? What's the point? Then, after doing my live today, came across a video which kind of, I looked at it. I looked at the video. I looked at the title of it. And it says, the Black community wants unity, but goes against their own. Sounds like a young brother who is frustrated. Sounds like a young brother who is, I don't know. Based on his frustration, I can see where he's coming from. But guess what? Enough is enough. Enough of complaining about the once what. All of it is tainted. All of this is tainted. The men against the women against the men, old lion against young lion. All of it is tainted by the white power structures it be. And if you don't believe me, read the goddamn letter. Read the Willie Lynch letter. I'm going to explain it. I'm going to explain this to you, and I'm going to explain this to you like, just pretend that you're here, because I know you're not here. I'm just going to pretend that you're here, and hopefully this reaches out to you, because I'm going to play your video in a minute. Stop blaming other people for your bullshit. And when I say your bullshit, I mean other people's mistakes. You keep including yourself in this by saying we We. No. When are you going to look in the mirror, my nigga, and say, I? Because before you can help somebody else, you must help yourself. You have to show somebody that you are willing to take up the reins, so to speak. Just become a leader. Become your own leader. Become your own leader in your own society, in your own community. If you don't want to do that, fall the fuck back. People are not trying to hear excuses anymore. They want to move on to different ethnicities and just want to be with white folks all day. Just want to be with white people. I ain't going no motherfucking where. I'm not going anywhere. I'm staying right here where I can do some good. You saying that the black community is failing because, brothers killing other brothers. Well, what do you plan on doing about it? You have to show and prove. And you have to have a team around you that will help the next generation to help this particular generation of brothers who are absolutely killing brothers to say, nah, this ain't going. You got to help the next generation come up. Because what they see is what they're going to imitate. When you see a person with a gun, they gonna want one. When you see a person with a Drago, they gonna want a Drago. With 100 rounds. Busting at people. Do you know obviously what bullets do to flesh? Have you ever shot a gun in your life? I have. Plenty of times. And what it does to meat is the same thing it'll do to a human being. You want to stop the violence? You want to stop all this? Start with yourself. Then you keep fighting. You come up here and you keep fighting for what you believe in. You just don't give up and say, oh, there ain't no community no more. Then you're no good to us. Yes, it's frustrating. It's frustrating to me to happen to hear Negroes on live all day, every day, complain about women all day. And that's another thing that's another thing that this cat was doing. He was complaining about women. Women. Women are no good. Women just do anything without consequence. That's a lie. Suki Hana, believe it or not, is the perfect example because she absolutely saw the light. She quit rapping. Or she at least quit doing all the ratchet shit. It's the sexy reds and gorillas that you have a problem with. And guess what? I don't pay attention to now one of them. Just like I don't pay too much attention to, if he's still around, Lil Nas X. I don't pay attention to, it's not too many celebrities I pay attention to. There's not too many rappers, not hip-hop artists, but rappers that I pay attention to. Because they do society, they do us no good. And they go on to society wanting attention because their mama and daddy didn't give any attention. And I'm gonna go a step further. You know what these people do not have that need to be in your life? A father. A father, a father needs to be in a home. If not, a stepfather. But I'm gonna give you a little blueprint, because there's a brother. Hopefully, we'll cross lanes one of these times. When it comes to relationships, we need to start from the beginning. Starting from the beginning of becoming friends. Friends, no more, no less. We just need to start from there and have an associates. Associates will be more appropriate. And we can sit back, kick back, and have all the conversations that it pertains to, just like that lady that was castrated on I believe it was called change times whatever. I had to look it up. There was a particular lady that was castrated each and every single time that they were promoting this live stream. And the brothers actually backed her up and say, yo, we were just having a conversation, right? I'll do a stream. I'll do a stream on her at some point. As a matter of fact, let me go and look this up. I'll look it up through here. But the one thing that is troubling me, and I complained about this earlier, is when people attend to give up. People attend to give up on the Black community. Is when I start to say, "Fuck it, why am I here? Why am I here? Why am I struggling? Why am I struggling giving my hard-earned money, my sweat and my blood and my tears to help the community rise again, grow again? Why? Why am I helping? Why am I wasting my time when I could be attending to my kids? Because I absolutely give a shit. You have to give a shit. You have to care. Because if not, you're no good to anyone else. We ain't gonna even talk about Africa. We're not gonna even talk about Africa. I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can play this little thing that's right here. I'm not gonna even play the soundbite. I'm just gonna show the right here. I'm not gonna even play the video. This woman here has gotten so many views, right? This podcast has gotten so many views, accusing this woman of being a baby mama, which she is, but what's the word I'm looking for? She's basically what you would call the B word of society. These people attack her. These people just call her out of her name, just call her out of the low extremities, call her every name but the child of God, all because she had an opinion, all because she says she would not date. And this is where we disagree, but I would attack her talking points and not specifically her. because the gentleman that was there, the gentleman that was sitting right across from her, had his ideologies, which I never agreed to. I never agreed to. Well, I agreed to a couple things, but how he came out of his face, I didn't agree with. But this woman here has got more hate than any other person that was on that panel. But guess who didn't get any um guess who didn't get any praise for his good works? Guess who didn't get praise for his good works? I'll show you. This brother here. This brother was calm, cool, and collective. This brother said everything that was right, said everything that was appropriate, and he got little praise. As a matter of fact, I know that he was the simpleton of the group, because he didn't go by what this gentleman here, this gentleman right here, was a little bit red pillish. And when you're red pillish, you get a round of applause. Round of, round of applause. What can you do for me? You can go back and play the video. Oh, it even says it up at the top. Triggered single mother loses it when faced with reality. And what is reality? Reality was a simple fact that she might have been into some domestic dispute, a domestic violence dispute. You don't know this woman's life. You don't know her life. But at the very end, they said it best. They said this is a podcast. Before you jump into conclusions, just listen to the podcast. That doesn't work. That does not work, because these people believe what they want to believe. And you know, again, the blueprint is we should all go back to being associates. No more, no less, until we can prove that we can be together. I'm married, so I don't have that problem. I'm married, so I don't have that problem. I'm married, so I don't have that problem. Now, I would agree with you that we have a long motherfucking way to go. A long way to go, and a very short time to get there. But you got to stop blaming. You got to stop finger pointing. You got to stop with the finger pointing, because it goes nowhere. It does nothing but begot more blame. Let me go ahead and play this clip. We're going to play this clip so you can get a more familiar idea.
Something that's been in the making for the past 3-4 years. You read that title. You already know what we're going to discuss, man. There's no such thing as unity in the black community. There's no such thing as that. The black community has been down for over 400 plus years. That's the truth of it, man. With no signs of getting better. And there's a lot of reasons why the black community is basically at a downfall at a rapid rate. Let's keep it real. Number one, black people love to sit here and talk about BLM, Black Lives Matter, but yet they're still the same ones that beat up on other black men, right? These are the same ones that beat up on other black females, right? These are the same ones that basically violate their own kind, right? Oh, you stepped on my shoes, man. I got to pop a Glock, make a brain slushy. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. And it's like, you want unity, right? Oh, we need to stand together, my brother and my sister. Listen, that's never going to happen because let's be real. How's this going to happen when you are the same ones that attack your own brothers, your own sister, the same ones that share the same complexion as you? But it's funny that you don't keep that same mentality and that same energy and that same vibe with other races, right? You don't keep that up with Caucasians. You don't keep that same energy with Mexicans. You definitely don't keep up the same energy with, we'll say, Filipinos, whoever. You don't keep that same energy, especially.
Well, let's start here. First of all, I don't go on cults. I don't follow cults. I looked at the I looked at the Black Lives Matter movement, and we all know it was just based on three women, or a woman actually, based on one woman. Three of them were lesbians, but it was just based on one woman who had an agenda to getting rich, an agenda to getting rich, because she figured, well, other people are getting off. Why can't I? So, yes, she snuck the black community of millions of dollars, simply put, based on a lie, right? Based on a damn lie. And we have others to be accounted for. And I'm not afraid to mention their names. One of them will happen to be Brother Polite. He's also the one that's gotten thousands and thousands of dollars and has grown millions and millions of dollars and stuffed the community. And I would have to say, this is what focus on the devil that you know. And that's based on what we promote in our communities. But guess what? I rather uh, uh, pay attention to the devil that I know than the devil that I don't know. See, I know what a white person is capable of, but at least he'll look you dead in the eye and tell the absolute honest to God truth about you. That's what I can expect. A brother, well, depending on who you know, depending on who you follow, you're not supposed to be following anybody. You look at the work that they do, and if their work is legit, then it's believable. It is believable to stay. It's believable to say that this particular brother, has done something, has done it with blood, sweat, and tears, and has built something for his community. That's the one thing I can tell you. But the other thing I can tell you, and there's a black cat in every community, and that black cat is vicious, and that black cat is deceiving. It's called web of deception. It's called web of deception. When all the brother polites and all the young pharaohs came out, they showed their true colors in the end. They did. And I know what you're thinking. Well, what about Dr. Umar? Dr. Umar has been consistent thus far. Dr. Umar has been consistent, and there's not one particular time that I know that he has turned heel. If he did, I would have noticed it already. If he did, I would have noticed it already. But you trust more than those other cats in the political world, and all the politicians. You believe them more than you believe anybody else. So who's more of the criminal? The politicians or us? You believe in the politicians that often tell you you can do and believe anything you can do and say and anything you want to believe in, anything that you say, but it has to be on paper. It has to be on the voting box so it can actually count. You have to, those same ones that come to your house with the papers that call census. The census help. The census help a situation where commonly their number, they can tell what numbers when it comes to a particular category, and they can put a number on things like a number of abortions, a number of killings, a number of murders, a number of rapes, a number of this, a number of that. Those actually come in the census. Another thing comes from politics is those sneaky little devils, those sneaky little snakes you call politicians that come around you with a smile on their face. I don't do the smiling thing. You come at me with a smile, I'm going to tell you to go F yourself. What I want from you is when I give you a list of demands, and this is the reason why we need our communities to be strengthened. And with the strengthening of our communities, we need to get that money up. And when we get that money up, we can buy politicians. We can buy any politician we want, Republican, Democrat, it doesn't matter. And they have to bend to our will, our demands. If not, they're out of there. Now I'm going to ask you a question. Who is more dangerous, the black community or the politicians that often tell you that you can do and say anything that you want as long as it's in the voting box? And guess what? When they're voted in, when you vote those people in, do they do anything for you? Ask yourself, the politicians that you voted for, whether it be a Ross Perot or a John Kennedy or whatever his name is. Y'all remember Ross Perot? The old man that looked like a goddamn Klansman. Or you voted in George Bush Sr., right? The Barry Sowetos of the world, aka Barack Obama's. You remember those? Those are your senators. Those are your politicians. When you vote them into office, before you vote them in, what do you usually say? What did you say when Barack Obama was before he became president? What did you say? We finally got a black president in office. Not knowing his backstory, not knowing where he came from, who dressed him up, and who put him out there. Did you ask him anything? Did you ask him any hard questions? Obviously not, because he wasn't going to listen to you. No way. What about the brothers who were standing right behind him when he was at a certain city, and the brothers who was yelling down at Barack Obama at the time, and he was asking the question, what the hell what are you going to do for black people? He wouldn't say it. He was mumbling, but he wouldn't actually state what he would do for black folks. And they ended up getting kicked out anyway. He had to get rid of his beloved pastor who was going to put him on blast. There were certain people within the community who had podcasts who was going to put him on blast. And you did not once held him accountable. I didn't know what politics was then. I don't even know. I still don't even know. But I do know this. Republican or Democrat, they're the wings of the same damn bird. And they all do and say the exact same thing. A little bit different format. The Republicans are often attacking the poor and making the rich stronger. The Democrats are for the weak and depressed and often go after the taxes of rich people, but often not, they don't do what's important. And that's make your communities stronger. Ask yourself, what president of the United States has absolutely positively done anything for your communities? I'll wait. And do not say Trump. Why does everybody put an actor? Why does everybody think that a fucking actor is going to do anything for your situation? Please tell me. Donald Trump is an actor and a realtor. That's all he is. That's all he is. So ask yourself, who's worse? The people in the black community who are fighting and fist fighting and shooting each other? Or is it the politicians that you vote for? The only person that you should be fighting and supporting is your own. Putting people in positions to win. That way, if you want something done, you got to do it yourself. White folks ain't going to do it for you. Oh, no. Mexicans damn sure ain't going to do it for you. Chinese, forget it. You got to do this on your own, Junior. You can't blame this on, you can't do more finger pointing. And as far as the whole woman thing is concerned, let me tell you something. It goes back to the beginning. Having a relationship or instead of a situationship can go a very long way. Have you ever met a woman that has simply got on your nerves simply because she had a high-pitched voice or a voice that crackles a little bit, but mainly she can't stop talking, or mainly a person that just can't stop talking? That's what a woman does. Why don't you become a companion? Not a companion, I'm sorry. Why don't you just become an associate? Associate starts with associate, starts with friends, starts with relationship. That's the three keys. Start with an associate. I have an associate in the stream right now. Hey, Mahogany. Me and Mahogany were friends. We were associates, but now we're friends. No more, no less. Start from there. Everybody just wants to have sex. Well, sex sells, but so does HIV. Oh, we quiet, huh? Sex sells, so does syphilis. Sex sells, so does gonorrhea. Sex sells, so does spoilers. Those particular spoilers on your body. Oh, I just want to feel good. Can I just put the tip in? Not without a plan. Because she can get pregnant All of a sudden, the baby's yours by DNA, and Negroes don't want to take care of their responsibility. Oh, I forgot, it's the woman's fault because she had her legs open. Give me a freaking break. Give me a freaking break. Every situation, every single situation, you gotta flip it and make it better. Say to that person, no, you don't even keep your head on a swivel. Whenever you have, wherever you try to get, I'm just going to say, and I'm going to keep it real. Whenever you're horny and whenever you feel horny, keep that shit in check. That's only the devil talking to you. That's only the devil talking to you. Keep your head on a swivel. It's like having an angel on one shoulder and the devil on the other. The problem with society is they feed you bullshit all the time. My question is, who's teaching you these things? Your mother, your father, your sister, your brother. And I'm sorry that we don't have if you're in a single parent home or whatever. If not, cool. You're supposed to have both parents in the home. Even if you don't have both parents in the home, even if you say, oh, well, I never had a father figure to teach me the game. So you mean to tell me you don't have an uncle? So you mean to tell me you don't have a great grandfather, a grandfather, a wino, a fireman, a policeman, crackhead around the corner that tell you, no, son, don't do what I did, son. Never do what even a pimp will have some integrity every once in a great while. Even a pimp will say, nigga, take your ass home and get into them books, nigga. Make something of yourself. Don't be like me. Be better than me. Make something of yourself. Some drug dealers tell you, go home, boy. This ain't for you. We don't have those. We don't have those nowadays. And this is the reason why I say I have more respect for the old heads. These young motherfuckers today don't have any type of respect. But very few, very handful, a very handful of young people I do admire and respect. They always want the spotlight. That's all it is to it. They never want to pay dues. There's only a handful of people that I would take with me. You want to make the community better? Learn by experience. You want to make the community better? Listen to the ones that came before you, before they entered into those pearly gates.
Caucasians, you don't keep that same energy, but yet y'all want unity and peace. Get out of here. Like I said, I bet you a whole bunch of people who are of color could sit here and say and share their stories right now and say, hey, I remember when I was a little kid, the same color complexion skin as me took my game console, uh, stole money from me, stole deodorant from me, stole socks, stole shoes, stole whatever the case may be. I bet you a whole bunch of people can tell you about their story and they can sit here and say, hey, he's not lying because it's the same complexion. So, like I said, it's never gonna change, man. You know what I'm saying? Y'all want to get.
And you obviously, let me stop you right there. So you obviously think You obviously think that Mexicans don't have issues. You believe that white people don't have issues. You believe the Chinaman don't have issues. You straight bugging right now. You are straight bugging right now. But you can't concentrate on them and their lifestyle because their beliefs are not our beliefs. I can care less about what they go through because I'm not living with them. That's not my color skin. I vowed you to do better. There's always the negative connotation of the black community. Well, what about the positive connotation? Well, gee, what's so positive about the black community? Number one, music. When the festival comes into town, beautiful. When Jill Scott plays or Jill Scott sings, when Layla Hathaway sings, Donnie Hathaway's daughter, when Lupe Fiasco comes into town, a real hip hop artist, when all these entertainers who absolutely put in work, put in money, believe it or not, Corey Holcomb is one of them. 5150 Nation, Corey is one of them. He just don't fade in no bullshit. He don't fake the funk. We can laugh, we can cry, we can sing, we can dance. It's all about life and how you live it. You know what the most important thing to me is turning off the TV and being with family. Family is what counts. Family is what gets you through the day. I'm not saying that every single occasion. I'm not saying all of your kin folks are straightforward, because there's some people with some issues there. I'm not saying that. But at least you have family. If you have a mother that's still living, cool. If you have a father that's still around, cool. If both of them are still married to each other and still and still helping yo crazy ass, cool. But even if they're divorced, separated, or whatever, so what? So what? Continue growing. I have friends who are family members of us. And you know what? I might consider Mahogany a long lost sister. I might consider her a long lost sister. And I might just add her to our little collection. That's how you grow family, sir. That's how you continuously grow the black community. Those people who had those people who lost their daughters, lost their sons by white supremacy, who have been cut up, burnt up. Those people over there? Why don't you write them a letter and give them a call and say, and explain yourself, explain your situation to them. Maybe their situation is a little bit darker, but guess what? It's like, I don't know where else to go. I need guidance. I want a friend. maybe they'll let you in if you ask them. The parents of Sade Robinson, why don't you give them a call? Why don't you give her mother a call? If you catch this live, I will introduce you to her Facebook page. Sade Robinson, the one that got cut up by her one-day lover, her white boyfriend. Cut her up so bad, decapitated her. That sent her leg in one place, her torso in another place, her head in another place. They had to do a lot of searching. What about Philando Castile that got shot by a police officer when he was steadily saying, I have a gun in my glove box. I am going to reach for my license. I am going to reach for my wallet. Why don't you give his widower a call? And the daughter is still alive, by the way. Ahmaud Arbery, who was racially profiled. Why don't you give Ahmaud Arbery's family a call? Maybe they'll let you in if you tell them your story and why you feel the way that you feel. Maybe they'll let you in. And once you're locked in, guess what? That's called family. But you have to do your part. You can't just sit around and kowtow around and say, man, ain't no black community no more. You have completely given up. You have given up on society. And giving up on society is like turning your back on God. You don't want to do that. You don't want to get your license revoked. Oh no, because once you do that, once you start yelling this, I don't see color, I don't think that there ain't no racism and all this other stuff, you cooning and fafooning, brother. What else you got there?
Get upset, get mad, and throw Rileys and oh yeah, man, let's rage and let's do this. But y'all be the same ones messing up your own community. Let's talk about it. You know, how many Family Dollars are being shut down due to robbery? How many Dollar Trees are being closed because of robbery? How many corner stores have to close shop because of what? Black people, right? The Madden Kings, the Ray Rays, the Pookies, because let's be real, there's good, decent black people, and then you just got the Rogs. So you Rogs are the main reason why, you know, the black community is in the shape that it's in.
First of all, my brother, who gives a fuck about Dollar Tree? Have your own goddamn Dollar Tree. D. Durrell a friend of mine named D. Durrell has his own goddamn Dollar Tree. Who gives a good goddamn about another white person's establishment? And they often say, it's your communities. You're tearing down your communities. What? Burn that shit down to the ground. They did that in Tulsa, Oklahoma. They did that in Rosewood. They put FBI in place for that for a significant reason. To say this is what people did to their communities. That's not your communities. Build your own. That's why I say put in the work. Those who are not buyers of property are consumers. And as long as you're a consumer of your own, that's fine. But you're bringing in money. Welcome to We-On-Loc Nation. Who is this?
Not the Jerome voice, not the Romy Rome. That's what you sounded like. I wanted to ask you because what video? Who is that talking? Who are you reviewing?
Some YouTuber. Let me see. Some guy named Lavish CEO. I guess he likes Dragon Ball Z or whatever. I guess a new YouTuber.
Oh, and he's Latino.
He might be like that. I don't know. I just knocked into this and I actually heard and I listened to it and I'm like, another one.
Yeah, I wanted to say just a few things. I'm not going to be long, and then I was going to tell you something in chat, but I don't care. I have surgery next week, so I won't be on here for a little while. So if you guys, I've been telling everybody, if you guys don't see me, you know how to get in touch with me on Instagram. But
No
I will be watching, but I gotta recover. But I wanted to tell you a few things. Like, I think, it's just weird that you're talking about this because I literally was just talking about this with another friend of mine today. Today, I was in Walmart and I was looking at some chicken wings. I lie to you not, and there was an Asian lady, very petite, you know, you would probably assume a submissive woman according to YouTube. But anyway, this woman damn near knocked me over for those chicken wings. And not only did she knock me over for those chicken wings, she apparently she was probably a restaurant owner. But my point is, it got me to thinking about the things that we constantly hear on YouTube. We constantly hear how aggressive Black women are, and that we could learn from these other races of women and how submissive they are. And today I had an experience that completely said something completely opposite. The woman was absolutely obnoxious, very obnoxious, and her husband looked very embarrassed to be with her. But I'm just trying to tell you that well, not just today, but that happens often where I compare real life to the stuff that these people say online, and it just that's why I drew myself away from it. When we first met, almost 2 years ago, I said, We-On-Loc, I got to go because it's just a bunch of nonsense. Black folks, I understand where you're going. My whole thing after analyzing our situation is that Black folks really, instead of comparing ourselves to what white people are doing, instead of us worrying about, because white folks, I mean, I'm not going to get into their immorality, but they've been immoral for a long time. And now Black folks are just as immoral. And we're just as racist against our own people, if not more. So what you see now is us becoming just like the Ku Klux Klan towards each other. We believe the stereotypes about each other. I don't even know that brother, but we believe that we're we believe that we're the one robbing these stores. Did you know? Because I used to work in the theft department at a popular shopping center when I was younger. And did you know most of the thievery that we saw were not from Black people? They would watch the Black people. But a lot of times it was from young kids, young white spoiled kids stealing lip gloss and stealing real stupid shit out the store. It was not us, but they just focused all their attention on us. So I think Black folks have really got to question themselves and their miseducation, in the words of Lauryn Hill. Black folks have a miseducation about themselves. They believe that the only thing they've contributed in history is slavery. They don't understand that they came from a line of queens and kings, and that they are the original inventors of the world. They are, I mean, the original people. And I think when Black folks start really, really looking at themselves in a different light, then they'll appreciate each other more. But as long as we're looking at ourselves like we That's it. That's our story. And listen, that's a very special story, honey, because most people couldn't have made it through that. But as long as we're looking at each other, at ourselves, as if we're not that, as if we're not good enough, we're constantly comparing ourselves to our children, because at the end of the day, black folks are the original people, and white folks, you can't get you cannot get black from white, honey. You can only get the lighter shades from the darker shades, honey. So we created them. If anything, they're our children. When you look at everything we contribute to society, from music to art to math to science, we are the originators of it all. And I just wish that we understood that. So I'm not going to listen to the nonsense that's in this space. I'm not going to listen to no more panels.
Well, this is the reason why I say that we are the original. We should be the original podcasters, but since we are not, they're gonna be abundance amongst of people that are going to utter the same dumb shit, and it's the same dumb shit that's making them money. They're basically treating this as a money grabber. And
Oh,
I
yeah.
honestly wish that people just start taking. I hate to say it, take certain people's channels away, because all you're doing is promoting violence. All you're doing is promoting separation. That's all you're doing.
I felt that way, and well, some of the really gross people have already lost channels, but when I sat up there on a channel and watched, it, for all intents and purposes, it seemed like a black person paid to keep a racist white girl on a panel. I said, our people are done. Look at Tommy. Tommy went over there and started schmoozing with those white folks on Fox News, making a complete ass out of himself, talking
Yeah,
about black
he got his
women.
little wake up call.
But this is the thing, that white woman was laughing because I think a lot of these men, they be trying to hurt black women, but they don't understand that we are in the locker rooms with white women. When I was in the military, I was in the locker rooms with white women, so I know how they really feel about us. Period. And it's not the way I really feel like a lot of our people need. Um, I call it the dinner conversation at a white person table. And I think a lot of Negroes would really wake the fuck up if they really knew how white folks feel about us. Now he's sitting up there talking about, oh, black women are jealous of y'all because y'all got your own hair. And I'm thinking to myself, that does he not know that probably 75 to 80% of women in Hollywood, particularly news anchors and stuff, wear weave? The woman he was talking to 9 times out of 10
White
had
people wear
extensions.
weave too. Yes.
But
Mhm.
but the woman literally he was talking to 9 times out of 10 probably had blonde extensions in her hair. He's so ignorant. And this white girl is listening to him, probably thinking, oh my God, you're gross. But she's not going to tell him that because she doesn't want to look as much as a fool as he was making himself look like. Like he was sitting there acting like he was dropping jewels on his own people, making a fucking fool out of himself.
Yeah, we all the only thing we can do, Mahogany, is just deal with these things one layer at a time, one stream at a time. That's all we can do. And I'm not saying that it's gonna take overnight, because none of this shit takes overnight. It's gonna take a while before, but it all depends on who listens. I don't care if 40 or 4 people listen, as long as somebody is listening. Like I hope this brother gets this and says, yo, maybe this might work. It's like if I tell you right now, it's like, is there a way that we can go to like a DA's office or something, or a particular place that I can say, yo, Mahogany, would you like to be considered being in the family? Your answer would be yes, right? And so in order for us to make that happen, we probably will have to sign something in order to say, this is the family of, Mahogany, James, or whoever, We-On-Loc, aka Andrew S. Roberts, whatever. And all we had to do was sign some papers and say, hey, boom, we're in the family. You're in my family. We introduce each other to our family. That's how we grow. And that's how we continue to grow. It's not just having babies. You could have a baby and not be responsible for that baby nowadays.
Oh,
Right?
making babies don't make a family. I mean, we see that every
Thank
day.
you.
That
Thank
does
you.
not make a family because that doesn't keep people together.
Thank you. Thank you. Having a family is being not a responsible, not just a responsible person, but a generous person, an honest person. Be honest with yourself and be honest with the person that you're with. Marry that person and everything will be everything.
I want to say this about family. Then I'm gonna have to, because I have to be to work at 7 a.m. So I only got 4 hours and got a ton of stuff to do before I go to work. I'm
Mm.
temping at an office today and
Oh,
I got to drive. Yeah, I got a good hour drive. So
I
let me just say,
gotta work them all.
I don't feel like it. 'Cause,
It's
feels
115 degrees outside.
yes, honey. It's been, but I want to say this about family. I've got a lot of adopted cousins and stuff like that. And then I myself was looking at adoption because of, the whole IVF situation not working out.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so I personally, my definition of family is definitely has nothing to do with blood relations. Although I do love my blood family, but I've got best friends and good friends that have been there for me. I'm gonna be honest, even more so than my own blood. So my definition of family, if I could give it, would be it's more than a feeling. It's a sense of responsibility.
Mo-
It's a sense of, yes, I love
Morality.
this person. Morality. It's a sense of definitely just feeling not just connected, but feeling yeah, responsible, like
Hmm.
uh for that person in some kind of way, just whether it's making sure that they're okay, their welfare, making sure that they
Especially dealing with the youth. Yes.
right. So that's me. I'm a drop down, but thank you for letting me have my little 2 cents. You were rocking it, so I'm gonna let you rock on. I just wanted to ask
All
you that.
right, sis. All
All
right
right.
then. All right. Take it easy. See how that works?
So again, keep that same energy, please. Keep that same energy when it comes to other races, please, because it seems like y'all don't want to do that. But yeah, man, like I said, people can share stories. People can sit here and tell you all types of stuff that they went through because of who, because of other race, because of the same race, right? Now with other races, you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to be like, oh man, I feel pretty good here. But as soon as you get in that black area, oh man, you automatically get hit with fear. You know what I mean? People get hit with that fear factor. You know what I'm saying? No prize at the end, just straight fear. Because you gotta be like, oh man, there's a group of rogues here. And whenever you see a group of rogues, you already know something bad about to happen. You already know. So
Why would you end up in a place with a whole bunch of rotters are going to whatever are going to be there? Why would you want to end up at that particular place? Just because you feel like you need to be there? Hmm? Sometimes when people come to a place that you've been there for years, trust me, it's happened to me before. And they come and it only takes one to ruin a whole establishment. Sometimes you're just going to have to find something else. Well, what if it happens there? Well, you're just going to have to move. Build an establishment for yourself. Make it work for yourself. Even if you have to gather 4 people, because 4 people can make a dream work. 4 people can make a dream work, make a dream come true. If you have your own establishment, and if you have your own establishment, guess what? You can make your own rules. And when you make your own rules, you can set your own laws. And when you can set your own laws, Guess what? Nothing can stop you. But you can't be naive. You can't be naive for the simple fact that once you build your establishment and you start making money hand over fist, don't think for 1 second that white supremacy is going to come see you in a form of a male in a suit, a white male in a suit and a briefcase. And he's going to say, this is a nice establishment you got here, son. Well, I have a bag full of money. Would you like a bag full of money that a person is going to give you so you can start over, assumingly, possibly start all over again, or just sail out into the good life? Or you want something to grow what is called wealth? Because that's what these people don't want you to have is wealth. LeBron James got what? LeBron James is 6'8", 275 pounds. He's an elite. He's an athlete. You know what athletes are considered? Slaves. Do I have to say that again? What are athletes considered? If athletes do not have any establishments for themselves, if they can't have this, if they don't have this, if they don't have that, if they don't have any wealth if they have all the money in the world, right? But they don't want to help grow the community some, it's a problem. It's a problem because the inside, they have this thing they call the contract, right? And in that contract, they have stipulations, right? And in those stipulations, you can't have no girlfriend that's wild. You can't have no such and such that brings all your friends that used to be. You can't have none of that. No, all you can have is a white girl. There are some stipulations that have that. You can have a girl with long hair. You can have it with short. You can have a girl with short hair. You can have this, but you can't have that. Ask Colin Kaepernick what he had to go through. Ask him. Ask him on Twitter or Facebook or TikTok or whatever. Just go on there and look for him and ask him. It's like, what is it like to be an activist? What is it like to sit while the American flag is playing? Because they think you're being patriotic. Man, burn all that shit down to the ground and build it back up with your money. And build your establishment. Don't worry about anybody else's, because number one, that's not your product. That's theirs. If it ain't black owned, like people get on other people from coming overseas and having to build their establishments. They go through these people from overseas, from Africa, from Hades and Portuguese and all these other people who are African, and they come over here to the United States of America, they have it just as bad. So stop it. They have it just as bad. You get every once in a great while, you get somebody from the UK or South African, people from South Africa, wherever they are, the Dominican Republic. Every once in a good while, you get those suckers that think they doing better than you. The Nigerians think that they can do better than you, or you know, they chastise you. Leave them in the freaking wind. All the rest of those other people, they come over here in the United States and they have it just as bad as you. Trust me, I believe. I have Haitian brothers and sisters who live near me and they drive Uber like crazy. They drive Uber like crazy. So don't think you got it bad, bruh. You just like, they're just like everybody. They're just in the exact same position as you. In the exact same position. Oh, but we go and another thing that you said, going and hold on, let me see what else did he say.
There's a group of rogues here, and whenever you see a group of rogues, you already know something bad about to happen. You already
Don't be there. I already said that.
you know. So same thing with the females. Same thing. You know, I think they're more violent than the dudes, to be honest with you, because again, it's just animal instincts when it comes to these people, man.
When it comes to the females, they're just as worse as the males. It's a very handful of females who are wild and wicked and need to be removed from society, removed from the earth. A handful. But what about the rest? Oh, they may talk loud. Oh, they may drink. Everybody drinks. Everybody makes bad choices in life. But come on. At the end of the day, there are men and women who are suffering just as much. The men suffer more than the women suffer more than the men. We are in the same, we might as well be in the same household. We just think differently. But if you actually sit there, and again, learn from the elderly, what society used to be like, maybe you will have a little bit more appreciation. No one said that society was going to be about, a white picket fence, a dog in a 2-car garage. No. You have to earn those things. You have to be what Dr. Claude Anderson would put it. You have to be competitive. You have to be competitive in society. You have to show people that you are no longer going to be in their system. If you don't want to be in this is another thing. And this is going to fly above everyone's heads. If you don't want to be a citizen of the United States of America, I often tell people, change your statuses. I often tell people, change your statuses. You might be off the grid, but you don't have to be equipped with people's ideologies anymore. I know America sucks, but you have to learn how society. You have to learn how society works. It's not just black folks. Why don't you learn from them politicians? They're a whole bunch of criminals and crooks. Each and every single one of them. I don't care if they're Republican or Democrat. All of them are a bunch of criminals and a bunch of hags. It's what person or persons that talk the loudest. And you go to those people and you actually say, well, what type of, we need a plan. We need a strategy. If you don't have a plan, if you don't have a strategy put up in place for Black people, then what are you doing? Why are you complaining? Give it to your legislator. They're the ones that create laws. They're the ones that change laws. Go to your legislator and tell them what you want. Oh, by the way, you might want to put some money behind it. And that's if you have to go to your church, if you had to go to your church congregation and you want to sit down with your pastor and say, we have a plan. And if your pastor ain't down with that plan, go to somebody who does, who will listen to that plan. And if they listen to your plan, that's good for you, because guess what? Not every, don't put that, I didn't say that. Not every society, not every community has a pastor or a prophet that is with your plan, because they're just as much as controlled by the government. They're just as much as controlled by the government. Get with somebody who will actually listen to you and do good by you. And you get with 20 other people who will listen to your plans. And you go to that legislature once you get the money together, and you have 3 people who will lead you, who will guide others. 3 people. If you want to make it 4, make it 4. But have 3 people with you. Hold on. Have 3 people with you. And go to your legislator in your city and state. Have that plan ready along with the money that you need to raise for them to even speak, for them to have even to speak to you. Because that's how the world works. This is how politics works. If you want things to change them. But it starts with you. If you want a better tomorrow, pay for it today in blood and sweat. That's how the old head did it. Martin Luther King had fought, bled, and died for our right to live. Malcolm X fought, bled, and died for our right to live. Rosa Parks fought and died for our right to live. Medgar Evers fought, bled, and died for our right to live. Booker T. Washington, Thurgood Marshall. The list goes on and on and on. Inventors, scientists who were African American have fought, bled, and died for our rights to learn and to pass on a heritage. What are you willing to pass on to your children? There's come to a point where people don't want to even mate anymore or want to be married anymore. Don't be that example. Don't be that one. Be the example of being with someone that you can trust. Be with somebody who you can mostly communicate with. Be her friend. Stop being her little fuck buddy. Become her friend. Just become her friend. She came back up here.
I'm not gonna stay, I promise. I was listening kind of back and forth, and I heard where the young man was talking about he thinks that, and I'm saying this to prove a point, that he thinks that the women are worse than the men, and these people are just animalistic. The reason I wanted to stop it right there is that, so I know all I need to know from him. He's the type of person, and that's what I'm talking about, the power of social media. He's the type of person that really doesn't have experience. He doesn't have any life experience. Because it's funny to me, almost every woman I know, from whether she's a church going woman or whether I work with her on the job, most black
Mhm.
women are not running around violent, but you see what you see on social media and what you see on the media, period, the news and everything
Mhm.
else says otherwise. Television, everything else says otherwise. So you get these people that don't have any life experience, but they're living their life through media. They're living their life through television, through the internet, through, what's that place that they're always showing violent fights and stuff. So now these people think that that's what we are as a people. And the fact is, we have aunties, right? All my aunties are church going women. You know what I mean? My grandmother
Mhm.
was a church going, Bible toting woman. And so none of these women were violent. And so that's why I said there's a danger in media, and it's very dangerous if you have a bunch of people on media, on a public platform, that refuse to get out and fucking go outside, as they say, that
Yes.
refuse to actually live life and get some experience under their belt. They know
Yes.
nothing. They know nothing. So
You
go
got to
ahead.
teach them. You got to teach them something. You
Well,
got to
they
teach them
got to be
somehow.
one. The way he's talking, he's acting like he's the teacher. So he's not. I don't believe this person wants to learn anything.
It's gonna it you know what it's gonna take it and it's kind of funny. Again, I was watching Izzy Band's live today, and
Uh
of
huh.
course they were talking about the OGs versus the young bucks and blah 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 blah. And I have to say that Sway gets on my nerves. Sway Sway is he's a fucking lunatic as far as I'm concerned, and it's too
Hmm.
goddamn emotional. And I wish he'd just go away somewhere. We are never going to get anywhere in society with that brother. I'm sorry, I am so sorry, but Bolo said something very profound today, and I'm paraphrasing. He's basically saying that the information that you supposedly have as a young person is not organic.
Hmm.
Everything is man-made, force-fed to you.
Can
It's
I?
force-fed in
I
MGOs.
I want to add something else to the point, because when I heard it, like I said, if black women were violent, how come when Dylan Roof entered that church and killed all those
Mm,
people, no one had a weapon, no one attacked him. They actually prayed for his no good ass after the incident and said they forgave him, which I was completely appalled by. What are you forgiving somebody that don't want forgiveness for? But that's our training. Black people are taught to be submissive, and black women, despite the contrary of what's on social media, are very submissive. Do you know that the average white child gets trained by their father to go
mm,
to get to go to the shooting range? Most, if you ask most black women have never been to a shooting range, but yet you got this little kid up here talking about we the most violent.
mm.
That's kind of what I'm talking about. And all, if you're talking about the girl fights happen between all races. These people need to educate themselves, just like black girls are targeted too. So when a black girl gets in a fight at a school, right, she's not just given a pat on the hand, she's thrown into the juvenile justice system, just like black boys are versus their white counterparts. This little young man is ignorant. And see, we unlock I'm this is why I'm saying I'm just a little too old. I have a lot of wisdom. Imma just be honest with you, I know I do. I
Yeah.
grew up, I was lucky, I was blessed, I was raised by a very wise woman, my mother and my grandmother. But this young man was not given any wisdom, and you can tell. And unfortunately, he's the type. I would like to see you reach out to him, but unfortunately, he's probably the type that doesn't want to listen to wisdom.
The only thing I can do is try. That's the only thing I can do.
Yeah.
Now, if he's willing to, if he can lend me one ear, and it's going to be a work in progress. If he can lend me one ear, and if it works, he lend me two. That's
Right.
how it's supposed to work. But I can't just say, oh, he ain't gonna listen to me. That's I can't do that, because that's basically saying you just giving up on the community altogether. Because it starts with the elderly and it ends with the young people.
Well, that's true, but this is how I feel about it as far as the community is. You can only help people that are willing to come to the table.
And then they
So,
come to the table.
when you go to community centers, you have people in the community centers, and then you have people hanging out on the corner at the liquor store too. And they never come inside to see what's going on in the community center. So some people, everybody's not gonna make
Not
it.
not unless you have the chicken wings and the donuts ready.
Oh, I wanted to give you we need to talk, but I wanted to give you, because I keep on saying I want to catch up with you. I know it's been a while since we've even talked, but I wanted to give you a shout out. And I was here for one of your interviews. I shared your interview with Joe. That was a good interview. And I saw,
The
oh God,
Umar one?
what's the other lady? She's
Oh, you mean
Shish Trish. Shish Trish.
Brownie? Oh,
No,
Shish Trish?
yeah, I saw that too. Anyway, I just love what you've been doing up here. And Trish is another one. I caught her live, but like I don't like to drop out the clouds if I don't know what's going on. So I've been looking for a time to kind of catch her, but I am subscribed to her. But I
Man,
feel
that
bad.
woman gets on
Just
gets on my nerves. I tell you,
what?
that woman.
Oh.
The only thing, you know what? Before you come to the award show, I'm gonna need you to do your hair. I'm like, what about my hair?
Oh yeah, she did tell you about your hair. I like it when she says smash that, smash it, smash
Smash
it.
it, smash it.
That's cute. That's cute. But now you've been doing your thing over here with the interview. I've reached out to a few people. There's a dude, a young fella, like he's really young, and he recently found out that he's HIV positive, and I really, really want to get him over here. He just started a YouTube channel. I know it's gonna grow. But the reason I want him over here is because he is also a bodybuilder. And so to look, quote unquote, to look at him, you would never think that he was HIV positive. So I'm really trying to get him to come over here and talk to us. But anyway, keep on rocking on. I'll listen.
Thank you.
Welcome.
I think the young boy needs something like that in his life. I'm just saying. Just saying. You're doing some good. Where was I? Oh yeah.
They're like, they're beasties. They're they the beastie 9000. They're not gonna stop. But like I said, man, blame yourselves, man. The black community, it will never get better, man. Stop preaching unity. Only time unity really matters is when a black person, you know, got in trouble for doing whatever it was. Then y'all paint these people out to be saints, and oh man, he was a loving person. He cared about everybody, but yet, if this person cared about everybody, what they doing committing crimes? Anybody that cares about people wouldn't even have a criminal record. Just saying, bro. But I'm over it, man.
That makes no sense. What just flew out your mouth? That didn't make any sense, because not everybody commits crimes. You just woke up one day and said, "Oh, I'm gonna rob a liquor store today. I'm hungry. I need to feed myself." Well, in certain cases in society, how society is built or was built, you had to do some stuff like that. You had to do some stuff like sell drugs in your community. I'm not wasn't condoning it, wasn't condoning nothing like that. It's just something that they had to do because there are people in this society that work in high places would not let them in. And once they start letting them in, you had certain people in place that said, let them have jobs. And when they let them have jobs, they let them have jobs with low wage pay. And nowadays, it's still the same shit. Still the same shit. How is it that you're going to have a house? How is it you're going to purchase a house at a high value, but without high value money? Not everybody can make 6 figures. Not everybody can make 7 figures. But a plumber can make good enough money for you to actually buy a home or create one yourself. Anybody can build a anybody with a creative brain can build their own home instead of buying a home that somebody had already lived in. It's cheaper that way anyway. Beasties, women are beasties. Stop watching. So, as a matter of fact, get away from social media for a while. That shit is tunnel visioned. That shit has tunnel visioned you. Has put you in a particular place in your life where you say, I have totally given up. All because of a woman's loud mouth and how she's jiggling it and how she dresses up and all this and all this. Boy, get over it. Maybe you need to turn that side off and look at the other side for once. There are some, just like there are some good men out there, there's some good women out there too. And the type of ones that don't take your shit, you need yours. You need a woman like that who will not take shit from a man. Who will be there for you, who will be submissive to you if you're submissive to them. That's how that works. If she's submissive to you, be submissive to her. It works both ways. You're working to make a family, to create a life for not just for yourself, but for her and for your children and for your children's children. I've been married for almost 15 years. Believe me, you don't know what that means. You don't know what that means to be married 20 years. You don't know what it means to be married 30 years. You don't know what it means to be married 40 years. Stop kidding yourself. Stop saying that society, it's just so troubling. Oh, boo-hoo. People go through a lot nowadays with jobs being lost, what do they call the aggression, obsession? What do they call it? We're in a session right now. People do what they got to do. But I always see people in new cars in these goddamn cyber trucks. Don't you want to be in the cyber truck? Don't you want to be in the cyber truck? Don't you want to be in the cyber? I hate those goddamn things. But where was I at? It doesn't matter what happens. In society, you're just going to have, you're just going to have to be your own boss. And once you be your own boss, you can hire anybody you freaking want to hire. If you don't want to hire a person who's a beastie or whatever that you said, don't hire them. Make others prove their worth. But when they do prove their worth, you reward them, and you reward them successfully. And when they move on, guess what? Teach them how to build in a society that's their own. Build within that community so your children's children can one day look at the establishment that you built for yourselves and say, guess what? I am rich. No, you're not rich. You're wealthy. Bronny don't have to worry about anything. Because if LeBron wanted, all he had to do was give him a trust fund. That's all he had to do. Why does he have to play basketball? I have no freaking clue. Is this how we treat our kids? We're gonna play basketball until we die. Guess what? It only takes one ACL tear. It takes one ACL tear. Did you know that George something, I forgot what his name was. He broke his foot, his leg, his body went one way, his leg went the other way. Is that what you want for your sons? Your girl, your daughters have Sexy Red as an influencer and wants to be on OnlyFans. Is that what you want for your daughter? Don't blame them. Blame society for even entertaining that. But at the same time, you want to be a father, it's going to be your responsibility to train your kids not to be people like them. Train your daughter to become a Dr. Francis Cress Wilson, who was a scientist. Train your son to be a Thurgood Marshall, who was one of the best defense lawyers in America. Wherever you want to be, wherever your kids want to be, you have to train them to be such. Make sure they go to the right schools. If you cannot find a school that will train them to be who they can be, then I guess you're gonna have to move, and I guess you're gonna have to you have to find an actual school that will educate your children the right way. If they have to go to a private school, then damn it, they have to go to a private school. It's gonna cost, but it's worth it. Trust me, I have 2 kids that are in private school, and they are learning a lot. There's very little times that I discipline my kids. I look at my daughter, I'm trying to figure out ways to discipline her. But that's how little of a child she is. Same thing with my son. As often I had to get on him about certain stuff. But that's a good child. They are both good children. And I'm going to continue as a father teaching them how to be great. With God by our side, that's the only thing I can do. I have no choice but to become the father that I am. I have no choice. Some of these people don't even want to be fathers. They want to be daddies. You know what the difference is between a father and a dad? A dad you can locate around the corner. There's my daddy. You're my daddy. There's my daddy. You're my daddy. A father will say to him, I am your father, and you will do as I tell you to do. I'm not your friend, I'm your father. And you will do as I tell you to do. Where do you think you're going? Who do you think you're talking to? Didn't I tell you to do this? Didn't I tell you to do that? You want things to be taken away from you? Then you will do as I say. That is a father. Just giving you pointers of how society should work, and not how, oh, you're going to do what you want to do, huh? Well, go ahead. Oh, no. No. That's how you get in trouble. And wonder why the mom's screaming at the ground while your son is being murked because he wants to be a drug dealer. Or your father is screaming to the high heavens because your daughter wants to sell her body for loose change. Is that what you want? If you don't want that, stop complaining and get to work.
You know, these raws, they know. But anyway, man, that's just my little take on this. You know what I'm saying? I might make a part two. Probably not. Who knows? You know, it depends on if people want to hear it or not. If the people want to hear it, I give the people what they want. But if they don't want to hear it, then it's just a one and done. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, man, appreciate everybody for supporting the videos, liking the videos, sharing my videos. You know what I'm saying? Be sure to keep liking the videos so they get pushed out in the YouTube algorithm, because YouTube doesn't want real content and real videos basically in the algorithm. It's already been proven. You know, they suppress videos. You know what I'm saying? But it's our job to push this out there so people can understand that, hey, we're not alone. Hey, there's people that feel just like us. You know what I'm saying? So be sure to like, share. Do what you have.
You know why the people of YouTube love chaos? It makes them money. It makes them money just like it makes the person who's doing the content creation money. That'll be why. Don't worry about that. Worry about getting your message out. Just worry about that. And people will follow you. As long as you continue that message, people will follow you, no matter what the circumstances is. And then, of course, you're going to have to support people. Support people, they will support you. Follow them, they will follow you. If you've seen the video that I just played, the young man that came out with this video, if you share, subscribe, share, and subscribe. Share this video with this brother. Share the video, put it in his link, and hopefully he'll get it. Hopefully he'll get it. He'll listen to it. And then one day we'll talk. We will definitely talk. And until then, I gotta get the hell out of here. I gotta get some sleep. Y'all take care.